and I have what am I talking about? What's up, you guys? It's Presley. Thank you for coming back to my channel, or if this is your first time, then hi. I'm sorry I haven't posted in like 3 weeks. I started work like 2 weeks ago, so I've been super busy and I just haven't really had that much to talk about because all I've been doing is working. But today we're back. I thought I'd talk to you guys just a little bit about my college experience out of state and tips I have for people that are either just about to go to college or like in general, or people that are going to college out of state. Before I get into all that, I'll tell you guys a little bit about how I ended up at the school that I'm at and just kind of the situation that happened, because it was just a really rough time for me at the time. Right now, I go to the University of Pittsburgh and I'm a biology major. My stepdad is from Pittsburgh, and we go out there all the time on family trips just to visit his family and things like that. And so when I was about a junior, we went there for a trip, and he asked me if he could take me to the university just to tour it because I'd never toured a college before and it was coming up kind of soon, and he thought that I should at least see what a college campus is like and just like what college life is all about. So I said yes, and we toured it, and I really liked the school. It was really pretty, but it just wasn't my dream school just because of the fact that I really wanted to stay in California, which is where I'm from. When college application time came around, I applied to Cal Poly Pomona and San Luis Obispo, and then I applied to basically all of the UC schools. There's someone talking outside, and I look really awkward. They're staring at me. Hi. They're yelling. Okay, basically the main problem that I had was that I really underestimated how hard it was to actually get into universities. I just thought that, you know, it was just gonna be easy. I don't even know why. I just thought that like everyone got into the college that they wanted to. I didn't even really think about it. I just thought that everyone got into the college that they wanted to go to, and that was that. Then I also applied to the University of Pittsburgh because it turns out that my little sister wanted to go there in the future, and I thought if I applied and I could get in, then at least she knows like what she has to do to get into the school also. College rejection and acceptance letters started coming out, and I was getting rejected everywhere. That's one of the things I want to touch on, but I'll actually just talk about it right now, is, and this sounds so negative, but you have to prepare yourself for rejection. Even if you're a straight A student and you've been involved in school for all 4 years and you have a perfect SAT score, somehow like you might not get into the school you want. College acceptance really makes no sense. Like you could get straight B's and then okay SAT score and get into Yale. That's probably an over exaggeration, but it just like it makes no sense. So you just have to know that like whatever's happening is gonna happen. You're gonna get into wherever you're supposed to go, and there's really nothing you can do to change it. I started getting rejected first a bunch. Like I was just getting rejection after rejection. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like I'm not gonna get into any college. Like I'm not gonna get to go where I want to go. And then University of Pittsburgh letters came out, and I ended up getting accepted into that school. I was just really upset because I really wanted to stay in California. My whole life was there. I just had a lot of things for me in California at the time, and I was not prepared to leave. And I've always just been super like, I was just super prepared to still be like around my family and like have my mom there if I needed her and stuff like that. I was really distraught, especially that summer, because I was like making all these memories with my friends and it was a really good summer. And then I just, in the back of my mind the whole time, it was just, you're gonna have to leave at the end of summer and you're probably not gonna see these people for like months. So that was probably the hardest thing. And when I first got to Pittsburgh, it was really, really hard for me. I was really upset all the time. I didn't want to leave my dorm. I did not want to do anything. I didn't want to party. I didn't want to study. I didn't want to do anything. And that was really affecting not only like my social life and my friends, but it was affecting my studying habits, everything like that, because I just wanted to stay in my room. It took me a really long time to be okay. And finally, second semester, I was like, you know what? this is where I'm at. I'm across the country. Yeah, it's not California, but I can make the best out of this if I want to. So I decided to just completely turn it around. A lot of things were changing in my life second semester. And I just decided, you know what, I'm going to make the best out of this for myself. Things completely changed for me. Second semester, I made so many friends, so many connections with people. And I wasn't sitting in my room upset all the time. I was happy. I was going out, doing things, going to clubs with my friends, like experiencing the city. And it really changed everything for me. I just want to talk to you guys about a few of the things that I wish I knew before I went to college, or when just considering going out of state, because I know a lot of people are probably like really nervous when it comes to applying to out of state schools, just because you have to deal with all the scariness that I just talked about. So the first thing is, don't be afraid to dorm, because I know, especially for me, I just don't like to talk to new people really. I just feel like if I don't know things about someone already and we don't already have anything in common that I know, then I just get really uncomfortable talking to people because I don't know what to say. But thankfully, I made the choice to dorm, and I met my roommate on actually a Facebook page, and she's from New Jersey. So we had never met, and I was really nervous to meet her, but we ended up being best friends. I love her. She was the best roommate I could have possibly asked for. And yeah, dorming can be annoying in the sense that like sometimes people are too loud, or just things like that where you don't necessarily get all your privacy that you think you should have, but also like you're surrounded by a bunch of people that are the same age as you, and they're all like driven to learn, and it's just really nice to be surrounded by people that no matter what have a similar interest in you in the sense of learning. And it's just really convenient, to be honest. Like there's a bathroom right next to you, there's showers, it has everything you could ask for, and it's probably cheaper than living in an apartment. So for my first year, now I'm living in an apartment with my roommate from last year too, but first year I definitely would recommend living in a dorm, just because also you are adjusting still to your school, so you don't necessarily have time to have a job yet, because you might not have time to focus on school and things like that. So it's probably going to be really hard to afford an apartment. So dorming is probably, I would say, is a good choice for freshmen. Second thing I want to touch on is don't be afraid to join clubs. And even though I wasn't a part of any this year, I really wish I would have been, and that's why I'm telling you guys now, because it would have helped me so much, especially first semester when I was so upset and I was just sitting in my room. I think it would have really helped me to at least have somewhere to go every week and be around people and socialize. Even when I didn't want to, you can make friends, especially out of state, because you're not going to have anybody at first, most likely. The third thing I want to touch on is learn your city. So for me, I mean, I've been to Pittsburgh a few times, but I didn't know downtown Pittsburgh. I didn't know the city, nothing like that. So when you get there, it's just really good to go out and find fun things to do, because in the town I live in California, there's basically nothing to do unless you want to go to the mall every day. But in Pittsburgh, there's so much to do, and especially for like young adults, it's such a good city to live in. You can go to a club. We found clubs, we found restaurants that we've never been to, cool coffee places. Just every weekend we really tried to just find something fun to do. And now when I go back, I'll have places that I can go back to, and I know where they are, and it gives you motivation if you know you're going to do something fun that weekend to just like finish off the week strong, if that makes any sense. Another thing that was really important in the school aspect was try as hard and as fast as you can to learn your study habits, because in high school you think you're studying hard, but when you get to college you have a big storm coming. It was just really hard for me to adapt to the workload in comparison to high school. I have never had to sit in front of a textbook for 6 hours and reread it and take notes on it, and just like you have to be a self-starter completely, because if you're not, no one's gonna do it for you. In high school, it's easy to just kind of like read Spark Notes the morning before a test and things like that. That will not work in college. You genuinely have to learn to study and adapt to just being okay with sitting in the library for 6 hours, and that's just how it has to be. Because for me, for the first maybe month, I was just sitting in my room at my desk trying to study, and it wasn't working, and I wasn't retaining anything, and it's just because in my room there were so many distractions, and my roommate would be there and I'd want to hang out with her, or I would want to watch TV or watch an episode of Netflix or eat food or sleep and things like that. And if you're in a library, really the only thing you can do is either leave or you can read a book because you're just surrounded by books. So I had to learn that I just have to sit in the library, and I learned I study better in groups, even if we're not studying the same thing. I like to have people around me just because it helps motivate me to stay if they're still there, if that makes any sense. Going along with that is make a study schedule, because in high school I used to just memorize all the homework I had to do. It's better to just make a planner and write down when you're going to study each thing, because especially around finals week, it comes out of nowhere. So if you plan, especially if you know when your finals are going to be, which you probably will if they give you a syllabus, it's really nice to just say, okay, I'm going to study this class for 2 hours and then switch to this. And it's good to switch between subjects too, so you're not staring at a biology textbook for 5 hours and you're like, I didn't learn anything because I got bored. So it's good to switch it up, but mostly just that goes along with learning how you study, because if that's not going to work for everybody, but that's just something that worked for me. Lastly, only take on what you can handle. If there's a bunch of gen ed classes that you have to take and you know one of them might be too hard for you, you don't have to take them at the same time. You can take one over summer, you can take them the next semester. You kind of have a little bit of freedom in that. Well, it's better to take some of the classes and ace them all than take all of the classes and then fail one, because you never know. Sometimes it can be too much, especially if you want to work and things like that. Like, you just have to figure out what you can handle for sure. And you can also add classes on later. You can also apply for a job later. There's always later. So just give yourself enough time to do everything and make sure you're not putting too much on your shoulders. That's about it for you guys today. Sorry if this wasn't too funny today, but I've been thinking about making this video for a really long time, and I just feel like I have a lot of advice I can pass on. If you guys have any questions about going to school out of state or just college in general, feel free to let me know. And thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button, and please give this video a thumbs up if I taught you anything about college, even if I didn't. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next Tuesday. Bye.